non-stop. Are you sure your windows aren't open? It's Manhattan, Mom. That's just how it is. Well, I don't know about that. She took a scolding stance, hand on hip. The 60-year-old wood floor grunted beneath her feet. I just picked up Carolyn from her apartment, and sitting in her front room, it was so blessedly quiet I could have sworn we were in the country. That's because money buys thick windows, Jane thought. Never mind. Tell me, how's your— Please don't say it, Jane thought. Don't ask about my love life. Friend Molly doing? Oh, Molly. Yeah, she's great. Working freelance for the paper since she had the twins. Molly and I have been friends since the 6th grade, Jane explained to Carolyn, who sat in her wheelchair by the front door. Carolyn had as many wrinkles in her face as there are ridges in a fingerprint, not just around her eyes and on her brow, but delicate folds rippling across her thin cheeks. She returned a blank stare, then tweaked it slightly, an intimation of rolling her eyes. Jane didn't know if it was pointed or conspiratorial, so she pretended not to notice. She hadn't seen Carolyn since she was 12 at her grandmother's funeral. It had struck her as odd that when her mother came into the city, Shirley had insisted on including Carolyn in their lunch plans. But from the hungry, significant looks her mother kept pushing on her, Jane could guess. The old woman was getting older, and Shirley wanted to make an impression, a last bid for the remains of the seafood fortune. No doubt picking up Jane at her apartment rather than meeting at the restaurant was a ploy to show Carolyn her great-niece's shameful living conditions. "Shall we skedaddle?" asked Jane, eager to get the meddling over with. "Yes, sweetheart. Let me just fix your hair." And Jane, aged 32, followed her mother into the bathroom and submitted herself to the slicking and spraying and twisting. No matter her age, whenever her mother did her hair, Jane felt exactly 7 years old. But she let her mom go to town, because surely Miss French Twist 1967 Hayes could only find true tranquility in a well-placed do. "Be sure you listen, dear," said Shirley, delivering her hushed, urgent lecture on how to impress the elderly. "They love that. Ask her about her childhood and let her go on if she's so inclined. At this point in her life, memories are all she has left, poor lamb." When they emerged from the bathroom, Carolyn wasn't where they had left her. Jane rushed into the next room, jolted with a nightmare of a wheelchair bumping down the stairs, and with it an unnerving flashback of watching the changeling at her 11th birthday slumber party. But there was Carolyn by the window, leaning over to tug a floor plant into the yellow square of sunlight. Jane heard a thwack as her Pride and Prejudice DVDs fell from their arboreal hideaway and onto the floor. Jane felt herself flush. Carolyn smiled. Her unaccountable cheek wrinkles gathered into a few deeper ones. Really? So what if she had seen the DVDs? A lot of people owned them. And why should she hide them? She didn't hide her copy of Arrested Development Season 1 or Yoga for Dummies. Still, something in Carolyn's smile made her feel as though she stood there in her underwear. Dirty underwear. At the restaurant, when Shirley left to powder her proverbial nose, Jane did her best to pretend she was not the least bit uncomfortable. A minute of silence passed. She plowed her garden salad with a fork, weeding out the arugula. "It's been a warm autumn," she offered. "You're wondering if I saw it," Carolyn said. Some voices get hard and tight with age, some rough like broken glass. Her voice was soft, sand beat by waves till it's as fine as powdered sugar. "Saw what?" Jane asked half-heartedly. "He is a devil, that Mr. Darcy. But you wouldn't hide him in a houseplant if you didn't have a guilty conscience. That tells me you're not idly daydreaming. You're past 30, not married, not dating, if your mother's gossip and the photos in your apartment."